We're here today to talk about spread of disease onto your farm. There are two different ways that disease can spread, either direct spread or indirect spread. Under the heading of direct spread, I tend to classify either of two types. The first are the brought-ins and the second are the break-ins. What do we mean by brought-ins are animals that you either purchase in or alternatively animals that you bring to a mart and don't sell and then bring back, or alternatively that you go to a show with an animal and then bring the animal back and introduce it into your herd. What can happen then is the animal can become infected in the place where they were for the day and then bring that disease back into your herd. So that's what we classify as the brought-ins. In terms of the break-ins then, we have animals that are coming in from your neighbouring herds, breaking in through boundary fences that aren't complete, or alternatively animals that are making nose-to-nose contact over boundary fences whereby the separation between the two herds are not adequate. What do we require in terms of separation? Well, the recommended distance for boundary fencing is as double fencing spaced 5 metres apart. In terms of the other aspect of spread, that is called indirect spread, we have a variety of different ways in which disease can come in. The first and most worrying way is from visitors. In terms of managing farm visitors, you should have a plan. That means that you should have a restriction of access points. You should have people that are at high risk, say for instance, dead animal collectors or other people that could potentially carry disease, restricted in terms of access to your livestock. The other aspect of visitors that is important in terms of the plan is to ensure that they have a place to clean and disinfect themselves before accessing your farm. What that means is a wash point and a disinfectant bath that is kept topped up as appropriate. In terms of the alternatives for managing visitors, you can provide them with clothing, that is farm boots or indeed overshoes, so that they are not bringing in fecal materials or other infectious sources on their feet as they walk around through your stock. The next risk factor in terms of indirect spread is via equipment. Equipment that's contaminated with saliva or blood or fecal material can act as a known first spread to your own livestock. Another shared equipment issue could be potentially a mobile crush, for instance, that you share with your neighbours. If that equipment becomes contaminated with those particular bodily secretions or excretions, then disease can spread from your neighbour's stock to yours. Wildlife, as in rodents and indeed even birds, can bring disease in and spread it around on top of animal feed. So access of rodents or indeed birds to animal feed should be severely restricted, and you should have a rodent control plan in place. Slurry is also a known risk factor, and if you're importing slurry particularly, then that is definitely a potential source for disease spread. Bringing in slurry, while people think that it is safe to store slurry for some time and that will reduce the risk, that is not an acceptable way of dealing with disease control. So in summary, under the heading of indirect spread, there are 4 different aspects: visitors, slurry that's imported, shared equipment, and wildlife. In terms of information on all of these aspects, including the direct spread of disease onto your herd, it is sensible to look on www.animalhealthireland.ie. And under the Biosecurity section, there are a number of leaflets there online that are very useful in terms of guiding you in terms of disease control. Thank you.